Here we go! Peachy!
Here I go!
Welcome to the Funtendo Game Show, where we talk about game, where we talk about life, where we talk about everything that matters.
100%.
Today we're going to cover a topic that definitely needs to be addressed. We're going to cover broke dating. We're going to look at the male perspective, we're going to look at the female perspective, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun.
I truly believe you can't date, or you should not really date, if you're not financially stable. Anytime you go into something and you're not good on your own, whether it's even emotionally, but financially, it's like a girl. You get into a relationship with a guy, he moves in with you, you're not financially stable enough to leave him now because you need him to live with you so you can afford your rent. And then you're fucked. You know, you wouldn't have that problem if you were already settled on your own. And then on the other hand, dating a guy who's not financially stable, suddenly you can't go out. Like, don't get in a relationship if you can't afford to do basic activities, because
Here
now
we go.
we're both supposed to stay home because you can't afford it. Because everything we're gonna do is gonna be an issue. It's gonna be a fight. And if you can't afford it, and then I want to pay, and then that's an issue. And then I'm gonna do it without you because you can't afford it, and then that's an issue.
I'm not mentioning no names.
I definitely think I would agree with that.
It's in my code.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't necessarily believe that. You have broke men dating. You have broke women dating. You have two people that are both broke trying to date each other. And it turns out to be a mess. So I guess I'd have to agree with this young lady that I personally believe if you don't really have your act together personally, then you probably should not be out here dating. You know, I'm not going to name a specific number that I think that anyone should have, but you definitely have to be comfortable and you definitely have to be financially stable before you jump into dating, especially if you really want to be dating and dating multiple people. There's a lot of cons that come along with dating multiple people. We don't need to get into all that, but from the financial aspect of it, if you're going to go out multiple times a week with different people, let's say you're single, that's going to end up costing you a lot of money. So let's check out one of these articles that goes into how much it actually costs.
We're in the game.
When you do a Google search or any Google search, there's an abundance of articles that talk about broke dating. There's tons of TikTok videos. There's tons of YouTube videos. So we're going to dig into this so you can see both sides and both perspectives here.
100%.
I did a little bit of research, and this article from Money Geek talks about basically you can't buy me love. The average date in America costs $123.
Shut your mouth.
On average, dinner and a movie cost $123 in 2024. Miami has the most expensive date night out, $156, followed by Washington, D.C., followed by Seattle, Washington at $153. Miami is the least affordable city for dating. There, a dinner and a movie costs amount to 21% of the average single resident's weekly earnings.
It seems like you have a little problem understanding the English language. Oh my God.
Estimated time spent on a dinner and a movie date, expenses average $27 per hour.
Mamma mia!
Now ask yourself, are you making $27 an hour?
No.
After taxes?
No.
We're not talking about before taxes. We're talking about after taxes. If you're not making $27 an hour, then how can you be spending $27 an hour when you go out on a date?
I don't care.
On average, going out for drinks costs $12, but dinner will cost you $96, and dinner and a movie $123.
Shut your mouth.
Now, I don't know where they're drinking at for $12. what is this, happy hour drinks? Are you on a happy hour date? I don't know if that's going to fly, but in most major cities, you're going to be spending $8 to $12 just for one drink. And that's at a bar.
No.
Don't talk about going to a club or anything upscale, because a glass of wine is going to be $15, $20. A mixed drink is going to be $12 to $20 or more even. It just depends on what drink you get.
You've heard that before, right?
So I don't necessarily think that it's a good idea, but let's keep breaking down these costs. 15 most expensive cities for a date night.
Here we go.
Number 1, Miami, Florida at $156.
Oh,
This is no surprise. Everybody knows in Miami, you know, it's very, very expensive to go to anything that you don't need. And with the cost of inflation right now, $156, that's probably a cheap date in Miami. Like
100%.
what are you getting for $156? That sounds like a fast food restaurant and a movie and maybe a round of mini golf or something like that. Next, we have Washington, D.C. at $153, followed by Seattle, Washington at $150, Boston, Massachusetts, $148, New York, $148, Columbus, Ohio, ranking number 6 at $139. Unbelievable. I would have thought that Columbus, Ohio would be cheaper than that. You know, Columbus, Ohio, what are we doing here? Atlanta, Georgia, $137. In San Diego, California at $137.
mamma mia.
It doesn't matter what you think. Shut your mouth.
10 least affordable cities for singles. The cost of a date night isn't the only problem for singles living in cities where wages haven't kept up with the cost of living. Money Geek found that the least affordable city for a date is Miami, as we previously discussed, where the cost of a dinner and a movie, $156, represents 20.7% of an average earner's income for the week. The South and the Midwest dominate the list for the top 10 least affordable cities for singles, with 7 cities coming from these regions. The Midwest boasts cities like Detroit, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, ranking number 2 to number 4, while the South features Miami, Florida, Memphis, Tennessee, Houston, Texas, where dinner expenses surpass 17% of the average paycheck.
When people don't like me, it's because I said the truth.
10 least affordable cities for a date in 2024. Miami, Florida. Detroit, Michigan. Columbus, Ohio. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Las Vegas, Nevada. Memphis, Tennessee. Houston, Texas. Cleveland, Ohio. Tucson, Arizona. And Anaheim, California. I'm kind of blown away right now because Detroit, Columbus, Milwaukee, I would not have guessed them, or even Cleveland, to be on the list of least affordable dates in 2024.
Know your role and shut your mouth, because the people's champ is ready to talk.
Unbelievable.
I'm not mentioning no names.
Let's jump into another article. You're too broke to date. Should men be dating if they're in debt?
It's in my code.
My grandmother said a broke man is like a broke hand. Can't do nothing with it.
If you're some man, what the rock is cooking.
In case no one told you, men without money shouldn't be out dating.
Shut your mouth.
If you make less than the figure the person you're dating deems acceptable, then the earthly pleasures of physical contact and conversation are closed off to you.
What I'm trying to say is like,
Smiling, enjoying a meal with good company, and personal displays of affection are off limits to you.
you've heard that before, right?
It seems like you have a little problem understanding the English language.
As much money as you can. Only then will you be granted the opportunity to get to know someone that you may or may not end up with.
What I'm trying to say is like,
Stop dating if you're broke. Relationship expert says men shouldn't date if they're broke. A relationship coach says women shouldn't date men who can't afford their lifestyle.
I got it.
Guys on the low
Here we
salary
go.
shouldn't be dating in the first place, and women are investments. She suggests women shouldn't be treated equally to men because women's time is more precious.
Mamma mia. Wow, 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 wow.
I don't know about that, if I agree with that, but this is her own individual perspective, so, you know, to each his own. Carla claims many clients struggle to find their perfect man because they have the wrong mindset.
Oh, right.
She insists the right man to go for is one with a provider mindset who will give their partner the best treatment. This includes paying for all their dates before they're in a formal relationship and buying them gifts and flowers.
Okay.
Controversially, she said men who can't afford a woman shouldn't be dating in the first place because they must add value to a woman's life to be worthy. She's kind of off the rails. I kind of see it as an equal proposition. It's a 50-50 thing. I'm more traditional where I do think that men should potentially pay for the first date or the second or the third, but at some point I would personally like to be with someone that's going to reciprocate. If I have to continue to pay every single time, then I kind of feel like I'm not really valued, and I feel like this person is at some point just taking advantage of me for resources, more or less. I've been on dates with women before and dated and paid several times, and when it came for some of them to pay and they had to pull that card out, their feelings were hurt, you know, and they couldn't find their card. They're looking all over, digging in pockets, digging in purses. Oh, I can't find my card. And then finally when the card comes out, you can see like a tear forming down, about to drop out of her eye, knowing like that's her last like $24 on 2 burritos and 2 cans of soda. Like, really, girl? If you can't afford to spend $12 on me, then you're not even really the kind of woman that I'd want to continue dating in the first place. So, I don't know. I kind of see it as a check and balance. So,
Bye-bye.
you know, I get where women are coming from. They spend a lot of money. They invest a lot of time into, you know, maintaining their looks, their beauty, their hair, their nails, their skincare routine, all of those great things. But women have to understand that men do the same thing too.
Okie dokie.
There's a lot of men that spend a lot of money on their clothes, a lot of money on their hair, a lot of money on their upkeep. Men have skincare programs too right now, so not kind of seeing where women are going with this, or this specific woman basically saying that, you know, men should basically just pay for everything. She said there's no fixed salary a man needs to be earning before he starts dating, but it needs to be enough to afford his partner's expenses and needs as well as his own.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
I'm a pimp.
Carla from San Diego, California said, in my experience, women are scared of speaking their standards. I don't know about that. I'm going to have to disagree with that, Carla. I think men are afraid of speaking their standards, And to be quite honest, I think men's standards are really low. I think if men actually brought their standards up and stop accepting whatever any given woman is willing to offer them, then no dating would really be going on. It would be like one match made out of like 1,000, because if men carried the same standards that women had, then, it's obvious. There's not going to be a lot of dating going on. And it's pretty much a proven fact that women have more standards, higher standards, more requirements, financial requirements, looks requirements, personality requirements, lifestyle requirements. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think this woman in this article is kind of a little bit going overboard. Maybe she's just trying to get an emotional response.
100%.
To find these men, you have to step into the energy of, I am worthy, I am healing, and I am not making decisions from a place of insecurity. We shouldn't be treated equal to men. We should be treated as women, and we're special.
Oh, wow, 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 wow.
I know I can afford my lifestyle, and if someone can afford and add value to that, I would say, thank you. Next.
Wah!
A man can start his life over with a new girl at any age. As women, we don't have that luxury. That means a woman's time is more valuable because she has more to lose. I would agree with part of that. I do think that as men get older and men get more financially stable, they tend to have more options. They could potentially go get a much younger partner that would be willing to be with them based on their lifestyle and whatever they have to offer by means of financial security. Women could too, but I think there's probably less younger men that would be with an older woman based on her finances. There are some men that will do it. I'm not saying there's not, but I do agree that women's kind of timeline is a little bit shorter because they're aging kind of less gracefully a lot of times than the average man would be, unless you have like a immaculate skincare program, an immaculate diet, an immaculate exercise routine. Then you could potentially stay younger for longer. So I do get the sense of urgency that women do have here.
Yeah, Peaches got it.
But I don't know, again, I think she's being a little bit too extreme here.
You've heard that before, right?
Men who can't afford it should wait to date until they become more stable. Okay, agreed.
100%.
How to identify a provider's man's mindset.
You have clearly left your balls in Stamford, Connecticut.
Never expect you to pay on dates. Is willing to help to pay for expenses if you allow him. You can rely on him for anything, not just money.
I know that anything is possible.
A man of his word and follows through with the plans he's made with you. I don't know. This is where I would agree with what you're saying, but the same thing's not reciprocated, because in my opinion, a lot of women will not follow through with their word, and they will not be a person of their word. You could set up a date with them. Hey, let's go out this Friday or Saturday. Let's go out Friday night and let's do this in advance. Yeah. Let it come down to Thursday, and then all of a sudden something better pops up on their calendar. Friends come into town. They get invited out for a weekend trip, birthday party, whatever. Man, she's going to skate on you with no regard, no remorse at all, not even a second thought. So, I guess if a woman wants that, that's fine. But you kind of get what you give. This goes for all the broke women and all the broke men out there.
Cause we know you ain't got no will. What? You ain't got no bottle. Say what you tell. Let's just be honest. Say what you tell. Let's just be real. Say one time. You ain't got no cash. Hey. You ain't got no.
Fellas, ladies,
I'm not mentioning no names.
don't be out here dating broke. If you're broke, just say you're broke. Find a side hustle. Go back to school. Work some extra hours at your job. Stop swiping on TikTok all day.
Mamma mia.
Put your phone down for a little while. Cancel your social life out and cut that back a little bit. Stop trying to have 50 friends out here and you don't got $50 in your pocket.
Wow, 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 wow,
Stop trying to buy a Louis bag out here, but you don't got no money in your Louis bag.
Yeah, Peaches got it.
Broke dating's not working for nobody. And as time goes by and the economy gets tighter and tighter and things cost more and more, those average amounts for those average dates in those cities are going to keep going up. So,
Cause we know you ain't got no will. What? You ain't got no bottle. Say what you tell. Let's just be honest. Say what you tell. Let's just be real. Say one time. You ain't got no cash. Hey. You ain't got no.
if you ain't got no cash and you ain't got no dollars, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Funtendo Game Show, where we give you life game and we show you what life is really about. We talk about finances and everything that matters in life.
100%.